Welcome to the Poetry Fix on Radio Free Hillsdale 101.7 FM. I'm your host, Erika Kyba, bringing you your weekly fix of poetry from across time. Today we're reading an excerpt from Milton's Comus. This poem is in the genre of the courtly masque and purports to celebrate the virtues of the noble Egerton family as they resist the malignant trickster Comus in his quest to seduce the young Lady Egerton. The poem opens with a soliloquy from an attendant spirit who is coming to aid the mortal Egertons in this struggle against personified vice. It seems like a pretty stock morality tale if you take the spirit at face value, but notice the language he uses to describe earthly life. To him, earth is a dim spot where men keep up a frail and feverish being. To him, it's a great sacrifice to leave his celestial form and expose himself to the rank vapors of this sin-worn mold. Does Milton really want us to nod along as the spirit says this? Or is there something a little bit Manichean and problematic in this view of the world that he wants us to question? Let's consider that as we dive in. Comus by John Milton. Narrated by Alexandra Comus.
Before the starry threshold of Jove's court, my mansion is where those immortal shapes of bright aerial spirits live ensphered, in regions mild of calm and serene air. Above the smoke and stir of this dim spot, which men call earth and with low-thoughted care, confined and pestered in this pinfold here, strive to keep up a frail and feverish being, unmindful of the crown that virtue gives. After this mortal change to her true servants, amongst the enthroned gods on sainted seats. Yet some there be that by due steps aspire to lay their just hands on that golden key that opens the palace of eternity. To such my errand is, and but for such, I would not soil these pure ambrosial weeds with the rank vapors of the sin-worn mold. But to my task. Neptune, besides the sway of every salt flood and each ebbing stream, took in by lot twixt high and nether Jove, imperial rule of all the sea-girt isles, that like to rich in various gems inlay the unadorned bosom of the deep, which he to grace his tributary gods by course commits to several government, and gives them leave to wear their sapphire crowns and wield their little tridents. But this isle, the greatest and the best of all the main, he quarters to his blue-haired deities, and all this tract that fronts the falling sun, a noble peer of mickle trust and power, has in his charge with tempered awe to guide an old and haughty nation proud in arms, where his fair offspring nursed in princely lore are coming to attend their father's state. And new entrusted scepter but their way lies through the perplexed paths of this drear wood, the nodding horror of whose shady brows threats the forlorn and wandering passenger. And here their tender age might suffer peril, but that by quick command from sovereign Jove I was dispatched for their defense and guard. And listen why, for I will tell ye now, what never yet was heard in tale or song, from old or modern bard in hall or bower. Bacchus that first from out the purple grape crushed the sweet poison of misused wine, after the Tuscan mariners transformed, coasting the Tyrian shore as the winds listed, on Circe's island fell. Who knows not Circe, the daughter of the sun, whose charmed cup whoever tasted lost his upright shape, and downward fell into a groveling swine. This nymph that gazed upon his clustering locks, with ivy berries wreathed, and his blithe youth, had by him, ere he parted thence, a son, much like his father, but his mother more, whom therefore she brought up and Comus named, who ripe and frolic of his full-grown age, roving the Celtic and Iberian fields, at last betakes him to this ominous wood, and in thick shelter of black shades embowered, excels his mother at her mighty art, offering to every weary traveler his orient liquor in a crystal glass.
You've been listening to The Poetry Fix with Erika Kyba. If you enjoyed this episode, consider following The Poetry Fix on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Podcasts. And if you have any poems you want to see in a future episode, email your suggestions to thepoetryfix@gmail.com. Join me next week and we'll be continuing our journey through Milton's Comus.